So what I'll do here is just make a simple water extraction. I'll add hot water, boil it, filter, boil again, and I'll reduce a little bit. I'll add maybe a drop of an acid just to make it slightly acidic, and then I'll add the picric acid so that it precipitates out the alkaloids. So this isn't selective. It'll precipitate out the main alkaloid as well as the secondary and minor alkaloids as well. Here is the 5 grams after doing 3 or 4 water pulls as well as a small alcohol pull. I reduced down the volume and it's at a ratio of 1 to 20, I think. No, 1 to 30. And now I'll test adding the picric acid. I may need to heat this, but you can see it's forming some clouding, and I may also need to add some more picric acid or the Hager reagent. I'll give this a swirl and see what it leads to. So I'll be adding more of the picric acid until it stops clouding. You can see some clouding form. It's a bit faint, but you can still see some clouding. So far I added 6 milliliters. And from what I've read, I may need to heat the solution and let it cool so that it forms properly. With mescaline specific and the other alkaloids in the cactus, I read that a 1 to 50 ratio provides crystals. So this is a 1 to 30, so it should precipitate out, assuming there's enough content. I'll be adding as much as 10 milliliters, and then if I see nothing form, I'll heat it up and then let it cool to see if it forms. So with my first attempt at using the picric acid, I realized my mistake. With the examples that I saw, it was 50 to 1 ratio was with the pure compound. So this was probably 1 to 500. If that. No, it's 1 to 5,000 since it's 1% likely. So I would need to reduce this quite a bit. I will probably put this in an oil bath and reduce it a bit, and mainly to see if I can recover the picric acid. And here is an NN oxide. This is NN oxide, NND oxide, and it was made using H2O2, which oxidized the oxalate that I had. It freed it to freebase and then made it the oxide. And I separated 200 milligrams of the NN oxide. I added 20 milliliters of the 1% picric acid, and it dissolved the goo. And you can see some crystals on the bottom, or the precipitate at least. And here I'm just going to experiment and play around, and I'll boil this to recrystallize, since it should be soluble in hot water, just to see if I could get some nice looking crystals.